unpopular opinions. You guys seem to love when I do these booktube collabs. I've had Fun Fantasy Books, Patrick Leo, and Mike's book review on, and today I'm honored to have Bookborn on the channel to discuss some of your hot takes. But as always, Bookborn, do you have any unpopular book opinions you would like to share with us?
Oh, so many, always so many. My one I always like to talk about is that I don't have a preference between mass market, floppy paperback, or hardcover. I don't care. I'll read them all.
Oh
Same.
wow,
They feel the same to me.
really? And what
Yep.
about ebooks? Does matter?
Oh, I hate ebooks. Okay,
Okay,
that is my opinion. But from physical format,
that
physical
is like
format.
the unpopular opinion.
Physical
Oh.
format, it does not bother me. Like I will read them all the same. I don't care.
Excellent. Well, that is a spicy take to start. Oh, and as always, we have signs that say agree or disagree. So whenever I read an unpopular opinion, we're going to show our signs and then we're going to have a discussion. So let's just jump straight into it. And the first one is, I mean, all of these are quite hot takes. Abercrombie should be a bigger deal than Sanderson. Oh, I kinda agree. A bit. Somewhere in the middle.
You know
Okay,
what?
you
This is
disagree.
so
You want to
funny.
go
I was
first?
saving this sign for later because I made a secret third sign and I already have to use it on number one, which is my kinda sign.
That's awesome.
And I didn't want to use it this early, but I kind of need it.
Yes. So when it comes to prose, I find it way more engaging with Abercrombie, and his type of stories also fit my like preference a bit more. But you can't really fault Sanderson. Like he is a genius when it comes to marketing, the way he creates a world, his output. So yeah, if I think about my preference, I probably prefer Abercrombie just slightly. But when it comes to how Sanderson's mind works, I think he's probably a bigger genius in a sense than Abercrombie. So that's why I'm a bit in the middle. But yeah, I'm not really sure about this one.
So, my big disagreement comes from the fact that I just really don't like when they compare Abercrombie and Sanderson because they fill such different roles within the fantasy community. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
saying one should be bigger than the other, they fill completely different roles. And
Yeah.
so I don't see them really as a comparison. It's kind of apples to oranges. Like, I understand, I do think. But on the other hand, I do wish Abercrombie was more of a household name because I do think
Yeah.
he's incredible. But I think
Mm,
Sanderson deserves his household name just
yeah.
as much.
And no one does like fan engagement better than Sanderson. So like he knows how to cultivate a following. Like he's
And I
just
think people don't take enough of that into account that
yeah,
Sanderson has created, like he has put a lot of effort to create that.
yeah,
And so that, I mean, it took work. It wasn't just, yeah, it wasn't
yeah,
just there.
yeah. That's the thing. Like Abercrombie, his stories are, in my opinion, maybe slightly more to my taste. I maybe enjoy them a bit more. But everything surrounding Sanderson is just better. Like his engagement on YouTube, he has conventions, he writes more special editions. Everything is just like there's just more to Sanderson as an author
Well,
than
and that's a
Abercrombie.
great point because, I just finished Age of Madness and it was 5 stars every book. Like I am a huge
Yeah.
Abercrombie
Oh,
fan.
such a good trilogy.
Such a good trilogy, like mind blowing.
Yeah.
But you also have to recognize that because First Law by nature is much less world building heavy,
Yeah.
there aren't as many fan spaces around discussing things because there isn't as much of that, which is also like that kind of culture. I do
Yeah.
think creates like a different community. So it's like
Mm,
again, just so different, so different.
yeah.
Now, one opinion I think we can all agree on is that we're never too old to learn a new skill. And a couple of years ago, I learned the basics of speed reading through Skillshare, which leads me to today's sponsor. Now, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes and members, and is truly a place to get inspired, learn new skills, and put them to work in impactful ways. Now, what really makes Skillshare so unique is the fact that it has the largest online learning community for creatives with a massive depth and breadth covering topics such as illustration, graphic design, marketing, and it also has creative career focused classes which can help you in marketing, freelancing, or social media, and so much more. And what I really love about Skillshare is that it has a learn by doing approach to teaching, which is just great. Now, as already mentioned, one class that helped me understand the basics of speed reading was the Speed Reading Mastery Double Your Reading Speed in 7 Day course by Jordan Harry. Now this course only takes around 4 hours to complete, and it gave me some really great advice on how I could implement some really simple things into how I read to help me read faster and better. So I would highly recommend it. Now there is a link in the description down below where you can sign up for a free trial, and I think that most of you would agree that that would be a good thing to do. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video.
None of the books in the Broken Earth trilogy deserves even a nomination for a Hugo, much less a win.
How fast could I put that up there?
Oh, I probably need to have a proper
which is-
stance here.
I'm
You
gonna
should
go
go
first.
first here, because you read
Which
the
is-
whole trilogy, haven't you?
Yes. So the first book deserved its nomination and win hardcore. I think the 5th season is such a fantastic book. Now,
Yeah.
do I think the other two should have won a Hugo? No.
Mm,
I don't actually. I think
Okay.
being nominated is totally cool. I don't think they should have won. I
interesting.
don't think they were as strong as the 5th season. But
Yeah.
the 5th season absolutely deserved it. So hard disagree. And I'm
Yeah.
not mad that they won. I just personally wasn't like as blown away by the last two.
No, it's probably also hard to top such an iconic modern fantasy book, in my opinion. So I've only read the first one, and I thought it was genius, very, very innovative, but I didn't particularly enjoy the story, which is, again, I probably should have that kind of sign, because when it comes to like being able to appreciate a story, like I can really, really appreciate what N.K. Jemisin has crafted with the Broken Earth, or the 5th season at least, but wasn't really a book I enjoyed. I think often when books win awards, they're not always like the books I tend to enjoy. Maybe I'm just not smart enough or something.
No, I read the last decade of Hugo's,
Yes, I saw that
And-
video. It's great.
and I think the Hugos are doing something different than maybe what the average reader wants. I dislike a lot of the Hugo winners, but I often, sometimes, same as you, some of the Hugo winners I dislike. I also understand why they would win
Yeah,
or
they're
appeal to other
pushing the
people.
boundaries and stuff like that.
Yes, pushing
Yeah.
boundaries.
Red Rising, meh at best. Okay, I have to disagree on this one, even though Red Rising isn't my favorite trilogy of all time. Bookborn, are you gonna show your sign?
I don't know. I don't know what to put.
Okay, let me go first then, while you
Okay.
consider. So
That's not
I
this.
literally read the Rising trilogy this year, and while I enjoyed book 2 and 3 quite a lot, it didn't reach the heights I was hoping it would. Like, I expected it to become top 5 series of all time. And that's also because I've struggled a lot with sci-fi, and people keep recommending Red Rising as the best series to get into that is character-driven. And it was fun. It was fast-paced. It had a lot of plot twists, but I just didn't feel as emotionally invested as I hoped I would. So, but it's still a good series.
So do you agree
And I-
with this then?
No, I wouldn't call it meh. That's the thing.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's meh. I would say it's good, but it's not the best series I've ever read.
Okay. I mean, I guess. Oh, I don't know. It's just so I DNF'd this after book 2. I never read
Okay.
book 3. So I guess
Yeah.
technically I agree with this because I never read book 3. But I
I
feel
thought book
like
2 was the best one, actually.
I
So
know, and I didn't dislike book 2. That's the confusing thing. I didn't dislike
Mm.
it. I think I might have had the same response as you. It's like I enjoyed it. It was great. I just never had a super passion about it. I went on to read another book, and I just never made my way back to book 3. It's just like one of those things. Then you get such a distance.
mm.
But
Yeah.
everyone loves it so much. I might try
Yeah.
again. don't
I
know.
think the thing that I found is that Red Rising is very dramatic.
Mm.
Like, it is like the stakes are massive. There's so many plot twists. The pacing is fast. But in some sense, I don't know how to explain it, but it felt maybe a tad bit too dramatic at times. Which I suppose if that works for you, then you will probably love it. But yeah.
When I found out how young Pierce Brown was when he wrote the series, it actually made me want to read it again in a different light. Because some of the issues I had with like the first book, when you
Yeah.
find out someone who wrote it was very young,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you were like, oh, like maybe I get it. Like I get
Yeah.
maybe why you had some of that stuff. So
Yeah, I need to include this one because you love to analyze books. The books are overanalyzed and can just be no plot, just fun. I agree on this one, but I rarely enjoy books that are just fun. Like, actually, whenever a publisher calls a book fun, it is like 9 out of 10 times I'll not enjoy that book. Like, I just don't do fun fantasy books like Murderbot, Great Codes, Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy, and stuff like that, which I know is very unpopular. They're just not my jam.
you know what? I think we
But I
see
think-
completely eye to eye. because
Really?
I totally agree that books should just be able to be fun and you don't need to overanalyze it. But I also just tend to I'm not drawn to those books in general.
Yeah.
Same with Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yes.
I didn't dislike it.
I've gotten slaughtered for saying I'm
I didn't
not a huge
dislike it
fan.
at all. I didn't dislike it at all. It was just like, it was fine. I didn't feel passionate about it. I think, but one thing I will say about this is I think, this is my unpopular Sanderson opinion, I think you can just read Sanderson and not care about the Cosmere, and that's perfectly okay. Like, I hate how much fans are like, you have to know it. You don't, though. You don't.
Yeah.
You can just read it and enjoy it. Like, I enjoy analyzing, so I do, but you don't have to.
I totally agree. And if you enjoy books that are just fun and that don't really have a plot, I'm happy for you. Keep reading those books. I don't mind. But usually I enjoy books that have some themes. I actually love a good love triangle. Yes.
Never could have disagreed faster.
What is a good love triangle? That is my question.
So I think there are a couple that have been done okay.
Yeah.
There are a couple that have been done okay, but my biggest issue, sorry, I have so many opinions about love triangles. My biggest issues with most love triangles is that almost never do I understand why everyone in the triangle likes each other. Almost never can I understand either why these two people are pining after that one person or that one person. Like, that is almost never in any love triangle, and they're almost never resolved satisfactorily.
That's very true. And it's so angsty, isn't it, often? And usually the one that everyone is in love with, like that person, the protagonist, is often so like manipulative or it's like, I just hate it. And also like, it just screams immaturity, like, and I don't enjoy characters that are manipulating and playing with other people's feelings. It's just...
They rarely end up with the person I'm rooting for, because I'm almost always rooting for the stable person. That's who I am into. And they never end up with the stable person. It's always the dark, brooding, manipulative person, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose maybe it makes sense, because if you are in a love triangle situation, then you are probably a bit unstable.
It's so true. I'll call out two that I think were done okay.
Yeah, come on. Are you going to say Hunger Games?
I am going to say Hunger Games.
Hey.
Have you watched the movies or read the books?
Both.
Okay. So I think it was done much better in the books than in the movies, because I will maintain that in the books, it's not really much of a triangle. Yeah. Because so much more of Katniss and Peeta in the beginning is just for like PR or fake. Yeah. And so I don't really feel it's as triangle-y in the books. And I think it makes sense. Like her wanting a different life. Like, I think that is one of them when I think it makes sense, and I think it's ended appropriately. Yeah. Also, the one that happens in Stormlight Archive.
I've only read the first two books, so...
Okay, so it's in book 2. It's very light.
It must be quite light, because I haven't noticed there's a love triangle.
I don't want to give it away, but...
No, don't give it away. You can mention it.
You can message me later. If you've read Words of Radiance, there's a very light love triangle in it, and it follows the thing of, like, I understand why both of those people would like this person, and why that person would like both of these people, and I thought it was done pretty well. But those are the only two.
The Cosmere should depend less on convergence and have each world stand on its own. I kinda agree in the middle again with this one. I've actually found that the more connected everything becomes, the less I'm enjoying it, if I'm being absolutely honest. But I think it would be hard for Sanderson to create a fandom like the one he has now if he didn't create like connections, stuff like that. There's a big reason why people love the Cosmere and get into it, because you have these tiny Easter eggs everywhere. But probably not my least favorite, but one of my least favorite books, The Lost Metal, Bookborn in the Era 2. I just didn't enjoy it because I felt like I didn't understand Cosmere well enough to fully appreciate the story.
Here's a question. How did you feel about the rest of the books in Era 2?
I was lukewarm on it. So basically, the whole story with Mistborn Era 2. I read the first two books and did enjoy them, and then I reread the first two books and enjoyed them more. And yeah, I think I gave Lost Metal 4 stars initially, but the more time that's gone, it's been more like maybe 3.5 now.
So see, I think your problem with The Lost Metal is probably less about Cosmere connections and more that Era 2 is just mid for you, because Era 2 is mid for me. So The Lost Metal really did nothing for me, because Era 2 just like isn't my thing. So I'd be cautious to like say that you don't like that they're coming together, because maybe you just aren't like a huge Era 2 fan, just like I'm not. So like maybe we need to like wait and see how it happens. I disagree I mean, I have a kinda as well on mine because I think fans overstate how important it is to know the Cosmere. I think you can read these books and not really know, and it's fine.
Hmm.
And my proof of this is really only a statistical data point of 1. So it's really bad data. But like my dad reads Sanderson books, has zero idea about any of these connections. Like he doesn't keep it in his head. He couldn't care. And he just enjoys the Sanderson books. He's like, these are great. These are fun. Like he loves them. So
Yeah.
I just think fans get too concerned about like people won't enjoy them. Like I think they will. That being said, if it goes like really hard on the convergence, that does worry me. So
Yeah.
I'm not worried
Yeah.
yet, but I can see it.
There's only one 5-star book in the Wheel of Time, and that's A Memory of Light, because the series finally ends. I have to disagree with that. But the weird thing here, I
don't disagree with the first part. I don't disagree with the first part, but
No,
I disagree hard with the second part.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. You were going to say something.
I felt like I've started every opinion. Basically, the other day I was thinking about it because Wheel of Time is one of my favorite series. But I was thinking, how many of the books would I give 5 stars in the series? And I'm not sure. Maybe The Great Hunt. I'll give 5 stars. I love that book. But most
Look
of them
at
are
us
like
agreeing. The Great Hunt is such a good book.
yes, it's my favorite, I think. Yeah, I think it's my favorite. I mean, the Wheel
The
of Time has
Shadow
so
of
many.
Rising's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is good. I think like most of the books I've given 4 or 4.5 stars, which just means that we have a series that is mostly consistently very, very good, except the Slog, which is one of the reasons why it's my favorite series. But there's very,
But
very few.
even in the slog, it's rare that a book didn't have a redeeming quality. Like most of those slog books, like will have the end scene or a middle scene be like so good that that's what keeps you going in the series.
Yeah, except Path of Daggers and Crossroads of Twilight.
Okay, Crossroads of Twilight, I just sometimes pretend doesn't exist. And I think we're all better for it. So
yeah, definitely. Have you given any of the books 5 stars in the Wheel of Time?
Well, so I read The Wheel of Time way before I was online rating books. So, and then as a reread, I feel like it's very different. I don't like to rate rereads because I feel like I already have all this history and knowledge and it's different. So I actually don't know. I don't really know any of my Wheel of Time ratings.
But funnily enough, I didn't give A Memory of Light 5 stars. I thought it was a satisfying conclusion, but it's just basically a massive battle. And I'm not a huge fan of like war scenes and battle scenes in my books. So, but the ending, like the last 100 pages, I found quite satisfactory.
Yeah, there's definitely some things in Memory of Light that bother me, but it's too spoilery. So anyway,
Yeah,
the whole series as a whole is good. It ends good.
It's better to see the movie before reading the book. You want to go first?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just like being able to form my own mental image first, which is something you rarely can do after you've seen a movie. Now, I have seen movies before the books and I loved the books just as much. So it's not like a big deal to me, but I don't think it's better at all.
No, I think the weird thing here is that, like I usually prefer reading the book first, but it's probably true that my enjoyment of the movie would have been higher if I hadn't read the book first. So I kind of get where this person is coming from. That's probably what he means. Like, he reads the book and then the movie just is horrible. But maybe if he hadn't read the book, he would actually enjoy the movie.
I don't think it's always horrible, though. I think there's a lot of adaptation. Like, there's always going to be something that as a book reader you attach to that's not in the book or in the movie, and that's always hard. But like, I was a diehard Hunger Games fan. Like, I had read the book several times, and I loved those movies. I thought they were very
Harry
good.
Potter. Love Harry Potter.
Well, I don't really like Harry Potter movies, but here's the thing.
I love the movies. They're so nostalgic to me.
Here's the thing. The casting is so nostalgic to me. There's so many nostalgic scenes. I have no problem with the Harry Potter movies. This is one where I have to tell people, like, I was too close to the source material. I was the fan when I was 10 that, like, nothing would have satisfied me. Nothing. Because, I don't usually say on main how many times I've read those books, but, like, it was my whole personality.
Jade Legacy was the worst book in the trilogy. Okay, which book do you think is the worst one in the trilogy?
Here's the thing. I rated the first two 4.5 and Jade Legacy a 5. So I love them all. But like, if I had to choose, I'd probably choose War.
Probably for me, like, I felt every book got better. So Jade City, I mean, I love all of them. I think I gave all of them 5 out of 5 stars. I was absolutely addicted to that series. But yeah, incredible. But yeah, Jade Legacy is my favorite for sure. But I've heard a lot of people not really complain, but they say they felt the story was a bit disjointed,
Hmm.
which wasn't my experience, but I kinda can
I think
understand where they're coming from.
I think the reason I like Jade City so much is I just tend to really like book ones. Like I
Yeah.
really like introductions of characters. Like that's something I really like.
Yeah.
You know, like I think I like Way of Kings better than a lot of Stormlight fans just because I love it first. But yeah, I love Legacy, man. Legacy was such a roller coaster. 5 stars, absolutely for me.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Bookborn, for joining me on the channel. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me. I hope people still like me after my unpopular opinions that were shared.
I'm sure they will, and I'll leave Bookborn's channel in the description down below. So definitely go and check her out.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some inspiration to read more books. Now, if you want to support me in any way, then you can check out my Patreon. I have different tiers and you'll get different benefits depending on what tier you support. Some of the benefits include getting your name in my videos, voting rights on my next feed, getting a special role on my Discord server, getting access to one Patreon exclusive video a month, or even art cards and bookmarks signed by my wife and me. Most of the money goes to hiring an editor to do a couple of videos for me a month, which basically allows me to post high quality content more frequently. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and God bless.